Hello, everyone. My name is Tim Beck. I'm the CEO of SAASTEPS, and I wanted to share with you an interesting experience which someone recently said to me, you really have built a touchless experience. What does that really mean? Touchless means that obviously you don't have to have people fully interact with something where you can allow the whole system to be able to automate the end-to-end process. And so I saw this recent post from Eddie who said, will AI replace Salesforce? And I don't think it's ever going to replace Salesforce. Salesforce is the foundational layer of the CRM. And then companies like SaaSteps is a foundational layer of revenue lifecycle management. And then Agentforce is the AI that allows all these things to work together, assuming that the data is in a single data model, is fully structured, has actionable data, is 100% declarative, so that basically the AI, which is a blind entity, can actually perform the same duties as a human that can see. And so while a lot of people are building AI internally inside Salesforce, what SaaSTeps did differently is we built everything externally because we felt that AI's most powerful attributes would be talking with a human, meaning a buyer or a salesperson that wants to interact with the AI, or a partner that wants to interact with the AI to have all that information loaded up into Salesforce in a touchless environment. And if you can do that, I mean, you could basically do a ton of different marketing. You could go to different trade shows. You can talk to different people and basically just talk to the AI and have all that data load up into your Salesforce instance. And so, Eddie, I'm just going to use you as an example when I actually do this demonstration. The other thing I noticed here is Jason was talking about how AI isn't killing B2B products because AI is so amazing. It's just most of these products are kind of stale. And well, I do agree with that, especially in a point solution environment, because if you're buying point solutions like one for this, one for that, one for that, and then you're integrating it all together, and then you got to put resources on it, and then you're trying to create a data lake, and then you're trying to get that data lake to be harmonized so that you can understand your data. That's kind of the old way of doing business. That's what we did after the dot-com bubble bursted. And we said, hey, we're going to invest in all these point solutions. We're going to do best of breed, and we're going to then integrate it all together, like I already talked about. The problem is that was really built for a lot of people. And now today, people want to leverage AI. And AI is something that needs to run autonomously and ultimately do the same jobs as people and augment those different teams. And so what I'd like to go through is share with you how we actually built out our agents where it's working directly on our websites and interacting with the buyers so that buyers can go through the entire end-to-end revenue lifecycle without actually ever talking to necessarily a sales rep. Not that you don't want to do that. I think sales reps still can interact, but I think the sales rep can ask people to go and talk to the AI because it's so much faster to get data into the systems so that you can get approved quotes and then ultimately close your orders with an end-to-end fully integrated solution. And so here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just basically talk to CODEN, and CODEN is our version of Agentforce, and Agentforce is powering obviously CODEN. CODEN is just a brand, and CODEN is supposed to give and grant access to anything. And so I'm going to just say, hi, CODEN. Can you tell me everything about SaaSTeps? And so basically, we've already loaded up a ton of data that on our website here, we've got like 147 pages where you can go and read all of the different information about SaaSTeps. But of course, that takes a lot of time if you think about it. But wouldn't it just be cool if you could just go in and talk to an AI and ask for a simple summary about this or ask about something that's interesting for you? And so here you can see that SaaSTeps is 100% Salesforce native autonomous revenue lifecycle management application. We basically cover all these different solutions. We got a bunch of key features. We're declarative. We implement with flexibility. We got great pricing models, lots of modules that you can turn on. You don't have to turn them all on, but if you want to run the end-to-end revenue lifecycle, we absolutely would say you need to put everything in. We've got tons of advanced capabilities that you can offer. We got great global support. We got an AI concierge. I mean, again, you're starting to see and you're like, wow, this is really cool. And then it's like, I would love to book a meeting. So can you help me schedule a meeting? So now I'm changing from a go-to-market to more of a BDR. And, so it's like, hey, BDRs, can I schedule a meeting with you? Well, hey, CODEN's your BDR. So sure enough, yep, let's go schedule that meeting. And here it is. And this links out to my bookings meeting. So anybody that wants to schedule some time with me, just come down to SAASTEPS, learn about our product, ask for a meeting, and then you can book some time with me. We do a free CRM assessment so that we can understand your world. And then ultimately we can determine if SAASTEPS product with CODEN would be able to benefit you. And so let's assume that you have a great meeting with us. The assessment goes well. You're very excited and you're like, man, I really want to quote. And so it's like, can you help me create a quote? And so basically what we're doing here is CODEN's going to say, yes, absolutely, go to this website. Now, the reason why we put this on multiple different websites is we wanted to allow people to engage with CODEN, but more importantly, prove that you can put one thing on your website, maybe another thing out on a landing page or wherever. Basically, you can put this information in multiple different locations. So now I'm going to come over here and we've got CODEN's website, and CODEN is our pre-sales engineer. Sorry, not our pre-sales engineer, our pre-sales agent. And so CODEN's going to pull up here, and now we're going to basically go through this process. And it's like, hi, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself? So I'm gonna play the role of Eddie right now. And so I am Eddie. Oops, not Eddie Reynolds. And let's see, I work for Union Square Consulting. I'm going to use my email. My email is support@saasteps.com. And I am interested in a quoting subscription billing and renewals solution. So we'll put all that in here, and consulting, I should spell that right. Sorry, Eddie, apologize about that. And obviously I'm a terrible speller, so let's make sure we add that in there. So now we basically are talking to CODEN. CODEN is now building out this information. It's like, thank you, Eddie. I'm preparing some recommendations for you tailored to your needs. Would you like to explore solutions that fit this requirement that you have? And so before I actually do that, I want to come over here to Salesforce. And this is a single license of Salesforce EE with Foundations. Foundations comes with Agentforce, and then we have our SAASTEPS managed package, end-to-end revenue lifecycle management solution in here. When you purchase our product, you get everything. So you get our end-to-end suite, if that's what you want to use. If you want to piece it all together, you can, but I would definitely argue that if you don't put in the end-to-end revenue lifecycle management suite, then utilizing the AI will actually just stop at a certain point. And what we want to do is help you have a frictionless buyer journey, no touch kind of option for you to have customers to interact with you. So if I come up to leads here, you'll actually see that sure enough, we got Union Square Consulting in here. Here's Eddie, and you can see that our agent has created this information. So now let's go back to CODEN. It's like, would you like to explore solutions? Yes, I would. Let's do that. And so basically CODEN's going to say, well, great. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you're looking for? And so I'm going to basically go do that. And I'm going to say, I have dyslexia, so I apologize. I'm seeking a CPQ. I would like my sales reps to send invoices because I don't want to go and switch over to QuickBooks. That doesn't make sense. Like, why do I want to use a separate system? QuickBooks should just be your GL as an example. And let's say I wanted to send invoices, and I want to automate my renewals. So great, CODEN's like, wonderful, this is really cool. Well, let me provide you some recommended products for this, and we'll let CODEN come back and say what we're going to see. And so sure enough, CODEN says, hey, it looks like you're interested in quoting. We've got billing here. We've got renewals here. But if you want, we've got this bundle here, this SaaS RAM bundle. And so it includes quoting, subscription, billing, invoicing, and renewals. Yeah, that really sounds like what I want. So let's just go in here and say, can you create a quote for 28 users of SaaSram and let's say 100 hours of services to help me get started. Okay, cool. That makes sense to me. So now basically CODEN's basically going into our system, looking at all the products, looking at all the pricing, looking at all the bundles, and going to present some details back to us. And here it goes. It says, great, I've created this quote for you for 28 users of SaaSram bundle plus 100 hours of implementation to help you get started. And so we have this quote here, but before I do that, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to show you how Eddie was in our leads bucket. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh the screen. You can see Eddie is no longer doing that. And so no longer is a lead. Why? Because Eddie's showing intent. And so we created a quote. So what did we do? We did the natural thing that a normal sales rep would do. We created an account, we created a contact, and we created an opportunity. So we're allowing the AI to do all of this. So this is a touchless, frictionless buyer journey. So if we come into the account here, you can see we've got all the different details here, and we're just getting ready to build up this entire quote, this entire opportunity, and this account, and we're trying to manage this whole process and do it 100% through the AI. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually update this. I'm going to show this in an incognito window. And the whole reason why I'm doing this is you can send out a quote to someone, but a quote's just a piece of paper. What I really want to do is help customers buy. And so now what I'm doing is I'm bringing them into an e-commerce solution. That's SAASTEPS. So SAASTEPS offers an e-commerce solution as well. And you can see here, we got this quote here for 28 users and 100 hours of implementation. Wow. I mean, how cool is this? And so what I can do here is I can now open up this agent. And this agent is really about helping people check out. And so because you're going through an AI process. And by the way, anybody that creates a quote here, you're going to get an automatic 25% discount. Well, I know this and I'm going to show you this, but the reason why we're doing that is because you're having an AI agent do this for you. You're not having a human touch this. So, if you're interested in actually buying our technology through an AI agent, I would love for you to come out and do that. And then we can implement the same solution that I'm just demonstrating to you here. So, it's like, hi, CODEN, can you provide me a discount? And so CODEN's going to go back. It's going to look at your information. It's going to start understanding potentially who you are. And it's like, hey, can you provide me your order number? Because remember, you had an email actually that got sent to you with that quote number. So if you bailed out because you got busy, it's okay. You can go and grab that quote number either from your email, or you can basically click on the link that we send you to come out and check out. And then you can plug this specific information in here. So now CODEN's going to basically say, great, thank you so much for your order. I've retrieved your details, but before we proceed, I need to actually identify who you are. So CODEN sent out a verification code for me to basically verify myself. I'm going to pop back over here. I'm just going to move my incognito window over. I'm going to pop in here, and I am going to grab my verification code. And it looks like my verification code has not come through yet, so I'm actually going to ask it to send it again really quickly. Can you please resend? There it goes. Now it's coming through. A little bit delayed there. Bummer. Well, all right. So now I've got this verification code. Let me grab that, and I am going to pull this back over here. And so let's go put that verification code in there. So now CODEN's basically going into the system and saying, hey, yep, your verification was successful. Would you like me to check for any promotions that are applicable to your order? Absolutely. Let's do this. And so CODEN's going back in the system. We've got promotions and discounts set up on specific products. And so basically CODEN's looking at that and it says a promotion has been successfully applied to your quote. So instead of being the $95,000, it's now $71,000 and some change, and you're good to go. Just refresh the screen and go check out. So thank you, CODEN. Really appreciate that. So let's do that. I'm going to refresh the screen here, and you're going to now see that inside of my e-commerce environment here, now I've got a discount here, and we've basically got our new $71,000 price tag. So that looks good to me. I'm going to just copy some of this information over for Eddie. Eddie, I'm going to make up some big information here for you, and let's get you checked out. And so I've got I used to live in, let's just say you're in San Francisco. And brand CISCO, and that's in California. And we got a postal code of 94402 and United States. So that works for me. So now that we've actually done all of those different things, now we can actually proceed and go to the next step. And this is now payment processing. So SAASTEPS is a payment processor. We're like a mini bank. We basically can do credit card, debit, surcharging, and ACH. And so if you want to do that, you can do that through us. We're completely directly, fully integrated into the Fiserv network. So we basically are merchant account and a gateway all together in one. We also integrate into Stripe, CyberSource, and Authorized.net. So we do have those different connectors. But if you wanted us to help you make sure that your money's always getting into the right place, you can come to the direct source, being us, and we'll basically make sure that we know that this is going on versus going and talking to some of these other providers, which may not get back to you in a timely manner. So down here, you can see we can do a credit card checkout. We can do an account balance. So if somebody basically canceled something and they wanted to rebuy something in the future, no problem. They can put an account balance on. So you don't necessarily have to give a refund. You just put an account balance and let them come back later. You could do a deferred payment. That's like creating a quote because you're not fully ready to buy yet, but you want to get a quote and these details out to your management team so that you can take a look at that. You can add in a purchase order. We can also do ACH. I just haven't enabled it in this environment. But for today, I'm actually going to do a deferred payment because I want to show you actually how we have an invoicing and a billing terminal internally. So if your billing team wants to basically manage that and the customer wants to call in, give a credit card or an ACH, or if they want to basically wire or send a check, you can do all of these different things. And SAASTEPS handles all of these different details. So I'm going to just do this deferred payment. We're going to put all my shipping information in here. We'll move to the next step. And we're going to check out. So now we're just going to confirm the information. Eddie Reynolds, great, thank you. We've got my shipping address here, and we've got basically my billing address here. So you can see on my different details here about my quote, and yep, I want to move forward. So let's do that. So now that we've checked this out, we're ready to roll. Let's kind of scroll over to Salesforce here. And again, where we had Union Square Consulting here, we have Eddie, we got the opportunity, we got this e-commerce cart. I'm actually going to refresh this screen. You're going to see a number of different things that have popped up now. And again, remember, touchless. All of this was done through an AI. There's nobody else on the phone here except for me, you, and my AI. And basically, you can see that we converted that order. We've got we got a renewal here. So the reason why this number is higher is because it's got some consulting fees in there that we obviously added in there. And the renewal is lower because basically we took out those consulting fees. We've got a subscription here for you. This is like a contract. When we created the subscription object because back in the day, the contract object was just an object. There was nothing in it. And so this is something that we built out to make sure that people can manage their end-to-end revenue lifecycle through subscriptions and assets. We got this invoice here that we haven't paid yet. So let's go look at that as well. And then I also have a billing terminal. So depending on if you don't want to have your team go in, take all your data out of Salesforce, put it into QuickBooks, create an invoice, send it out, and then manage all your renewals in QuickBooks. You just want to do it in one single location and make QuickBooks your general ledger. That's kind of what I would advise because, again, it's just easier to manage. But before I go to those two different pieces, let's come back over here. Let's see what happened. You became my 24th customer. We now have additional information in here. We're growing our business. And basically these dashboards have now been all updated. So that's really cool, right? And so when we go in here, we can look at the subscription. You can see, hey, here's Eddie's account. Here's the renewal. Here's the start dates, the end dates, the amount. We've got the products that have been sold. We've got the actual implementation that hasn't been billed yet. And then we've got the payment. Oops, we've got the, oh, I forgot to open that up. We got the payment portal as well. So we've got this payment portal. I'll open that up in a new tab. So anybody that wants to go in and basically make a payment online, they can do that. Or we can actually do all of it through our billing terminal. So if I scroll down here to our billing terminal, you can see pay here, and I can go in as a finance person. I can charge a bank, I can charge a credit card that's on file, I can initiate an ACH transfer, or I could just actually close this out on because you sent me over a wire. If I wanted to, I could actually go into my payment portal here, which basically you got Union Square, you got Eddie. This is a payment portal. Again, it's just using a community site. You can actually pull all this information in. I can go in and check out this data. I can do it with a credit card. I can do it with an ACH. But for me, I'm actually going to just track it right here and close this out here. So let's close this out with on the transaction date of the 13th, and it's going to be a wire or say a check. And then we'll just say paid in full. And if you want to do a partial payment, you can do a partial payment. We'll just create another invoice and you can send that back out to the customer. If you want to basically make this a monthly subscription, a quarterly subscription, an annual subscription, you can do that too. But I'm going to submit this payment, and basically that's going to say we're good to go. So do you want to go back to the invoice? Let's do that. We'll go back to the invoice inside the system. You're going to see that now this has been paid and closed. We can now come back over to your account, and we can look at what has taken place. So we've got all our details here. We got our subscription, the invoice has been paid. We got our e-commerce. We're done. We basically have completed this end-to-end process all by basically me interacting with my AI and having a touchless environment. So hopefully you all enjoyed this. Again, this is just the view of how we believe you can actually leverage AI in an external environment, starting on a website, ultimately creating quotes, ultimately going through a commerce experience, ultimately closing that. And at any point in time, if I come back to, let's say, I got to go back to your account here, Eddie. But if I come back to your account, I've got this renewal here, and I can, at any point in time, I can go in and I can select some additional products that I want to sell to you. Or if I want, I could just close win this and call it a day. And all of this can be automated, right? So once this is automated, again, what are we going to do? We're going to wash, rinse, and repeat the process. You'll basically have an invoice here that's ready to roll, and we can do this all over again. So anyhow, I hope everybody enjoyed this presentation. The goal is ultimately to help you standardize all of your data inside Salesforce, bring all of that consolidated systems back into our system, meaning Salesforce, and then ultimately have it all be managed by an AI agent, or you can have a sales rep, obviously, or internal people do this. We also have an account manager agent. If you guys would like to see that, we can absolutely demo that off to you at a later time. Our account manager agent allows people to authenticate their account, allows us to look at their invoices, look at their orders, add on different products, provide expansion to those products, or to your subscription, and then ultimately manage renewals, all through an AI agent. So this is what we call the touchless experience, or the frictionless buyer journey, and hope you enjoyed this. So thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon. And anybody that wants to schedule time with SAASTEPS, just go to SAASTEPS.com, talk to our agent, and actually schedule a meeting with us. Looking forward to speaking with all of you, and hope you enjoyed. Bye.